Hello, welcome to PODnas. This is a sports show with a Southern flair. I'm Daniel Hawks. That's Jarrett Roser. Today, we have got a breakdown of the LSU injury report that just came out. Also, we're going to preview this weekend's games. Week 2 is upon us. A little bit of mostly college, a little bit of NFL. Jarrett, how we doing today?
Good, man. Short and sweet. You know, we're into football season. We've got a week and a pseudo week of college under our belts, and now we kick off the high school and NFL action for real. So, other than all this rain pouring through South Louisiana, it's a good time of year.
Yeah, I was thinking it's probably like close to ad drop date. Do you wish that you could drop the Seminoles as one of your picks?
Whoa. I think Florida State University wishes they could drop the Seminole football team as one of their
I've been holding on
programs
to
right now.
that since Monday night.
It's bad, man. Like, I know right now DJ at the quarterback spot is catching the bulk of the heat, but they're just a bad football team right
Yeah,
now.
he can't play defense too. Like, it was
Yeah.
20-7, and he had nothing to do with stopping them from scoring.
And I thought about this earlier too. I went into our college football playoff candidate draft or whatever thinking it'd be cool if I could come out of this thing with 2 of the 3 ACC candidates that are at the top of my list of Florida State, Clemson, and Miami, and hopefully I get the right 2. I got Clemson 0-1, Florida State 0-2, and Miami is just big chilling after rolling through the Gators on Saturday.
Yeah. So good luck to us. We're good. We're doing great. We're doing great.
Yeah.
I'm whatever 6-4 to start out on the pick'em anyway. So like you may be screwing up in the season long, but I haven't started pick'em good. So we're both off to rough starts and our
It's all right.
respective things. But let's get down to it. Jared, you just went over, got to see the injury report. The injury report just came out for LSU. So give us an update on what's going on with the Tigers.
Weird week over at LSU, just kind of condensed with the Labor Day week schedule and whatnot. So on Tuesday, we actually heard from Brian Kelly, our normal Monday check-in, heard Chris Hilton Jr. and Kyle Parker, who saw bigger action on Sunday in the absence of Chris Hilton. They're both kind of progressing along. We'll see how they're doing this weekend. I mean, we're about to talk about this matchup in a moment against Nicholls State, but as much as we like seeing these guys progressing back to full health and confidence and whatnot, hopefully nobody's pressing anything too much against an FCS opponent this weekend. The really big updates, unfortunately, Princeton Malbrew, we were told on Tuesday, is out with a knee, and then we find out Wednesday through a report from Wilson Alexander of The Advocate that John Emery Jr. is now out the remainder of the season with another torn ACL. And
I feel so bad for the man. I wish him the speediest of recoveries. It was so great to see him run so hard and run so well on Monday, and then that redemption story get cut so short for him.
Heart goes out to both of those guys, really.
Yeah,
I know
for sure.
Princeton's worked his ass off to get to where he's at. A walk on from Lafayette Christian, but as you alluded, the John Emery story of all the obstacles he's worked through his entire career, from getting to LSU, and there were issues where he realized he needed to have an eye surgery or whatever and clean up some of his vision stuff there that he hadn't realized before that. And then there were issues on the academic side that, if I recall correctly, some of it even seemed like some advising type issues. And so he ends up missing a year because of just an hours dynamic with his academic side. And then he has the knee injury last year, and then he gets back, and it's such a storyline throughout camp of getting him back ready to roll and feeling confident in that knee. And obviously he was the guy that provided some level of spark to the run game on Sunday against the Trojans. And that's where you started to feel a little bit more confident when they could establish him. And then you find out a couple of days later that he's got another ACL and is out for the year. And so that sucks. Even we record this on Wednesday afternoon. On Tuesday, that Brian Kelly availability, he talked about the expectations that John Emery was going to keep getting better as the season progressed. And then the report comes out on Wednesday morning. But that's tough. and something that we'll certainly talk about with this matchup, just kind of what to watch for there. Similarly, both safeties that started on Sunday are a little bit banged up. We'll see kind of where they are. Jordan Gilbert, the transfer from A&M, because of that late targeting penalty, was going to be out the first half against the Colonels anyway. Jordan Allen is also a little bit banged up. And so I think, unless I've missed something over the course of today, that those are kind of the 6 big notes that came out, 2 obviously particularly serious, and then some other notable names all over the roster.
Yeah. And, we're so excited that football started, but football starting also means that every week people are going to get nicked up. Injuries are going to happen. That's just the game that they play. So we are looking forward to seeing those guys get better and hoping that injury, that injury heals a lot quicker than it should. But let's move on. LSU plays Nicholls State. 6:30 Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. It'll be on SEC Network and ESPN Plus if you're watching from home, unless you have DirecTV and you're in the middle of the Disney DirecTV standoff. Then I hope you have a ESPN Plus account. I hope you bundled Hulu and Disney Plus with your ESPN. Not much really to say.
When we get to the pick'em, are you picking DirecTV or Disney to win this thing?
Disney. I'm picking the mouse because if I don't, I feel like I may not be here to last another day. Yeah. So I don't think either one of us are going to pick Nicholls State this week. I got burned by you once, Nicholls State. But I think we both think LSU is going to take care of business. This is a tune-up game. And yeah, let's go into this pick'em. This Fast 7. This fast and furious set. We're family. So go and give us your picks. What's up next?
You want me to?
No, I got it. I wanted to see how long it would take you to say anything after that. Next up, we've got number 17 Kansas State. They're going to be taking on Tulane. It is at Tulane, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, at Tulane. It's going to be Saturday at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Who you got, Jared? And let's talk about this game a little bit. This is a big game. It's got playoff implications.
Do you want to pick before I start saying things and potentially sway you from whatever you've got, or you want to wait for me to say things?
I'm picking I'm picking. They're on my list. I'm picking Tulane, no matter what you say. Okay. So we'll just get that out of the way. I'll throw it up. There's a little graphic right here. It should be. Yeah.
Okay. Your finger started going rogue there, but somewhere in that general area. So this is a really interesting matchup. Something that I'm assuming you don't know is that Tulane is actually undefeated against Kansas State in their series history. That's not a particularly deep history. They've only met 2 times, once in 1988 and once in 2022. But
that's 2 times too many for the Wildcats. Get them out of here.
Tulane went up to Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple, and got a win in 2022 with Michael Pratt and company. And so these teams, 2 years is an eternity in particularly college football now, with how quickly rosters roll over and different coaching staffs and all these things. But there are members of this Tulane roster that have won a game at Kansas State. This is also a Tulane team that last year, I thought, if not for Michael Pratt's injury, has a really good chance at knocking off Ole Miss in Ullman Stadium on an early Saturday kickoff. And so this is a Tulane team that has built under Willie Fritz and now John Summerall taking the reins to a point where they're not afraid of these matchups at all. They match up well, particularly in the trenches. They hold their own against Power 4 opponents. And it's going to be interesting to me to watch which of these teams can establish the line of scrimmage a little bit better on both sides, get some running game going, also trying to get after the opposing passer, because both teams have young quarterbacks that look really good early in their careers, but are still ultimately young quarterbacks. And Avery Johnson for K-State has to go on the road, and Darian Mensah has to face a Power 4 opponent for Tulane. And so how do you handle those dynamics as young guys just really starting out your career? I'm interested to see the turnover game. That was really helpful for Tulane in blowing the game open late in the first half and rolling off in the second half against Southeastern Louisiana. K-State, meanwhile, lost the turnover margin against UT Martin last week. Despite the big win, they fumbled away once and threw an interception. And so this is a game that you just picked Tulane, and I'm not going to be surprised either way, but the consummate optimist, I'm going to pick Tulane to get a huge early season win against a K-State team that's still in a lot of ways figuring itself out. I think, Tulane's early season schedule is tough, but at the same time, that toughness provides them really big opportunities that I think they are very capable of making the most of this one at home this weekend. And I'm going to go ahead and pick it.
Great. Love it. I love when we pick together. I don't like all this division that was had last time. And mainly
That's because
I lost.
It goes against you.
Next up, we've got 3 Texas going to play at the Big House, number 10, Michigan. That is also going to be an 11 a.m. game on Saturday on Fox. There are a lot of good games on the early slate of this college football weekend. Let's just go. I don't think Michigan's that good. So they struggled with Fresno in the Big House, and Texas is a lot better than Fresno. And I picked Texas, so I'm gonna pick Texas here. We're gonna let it ride.
Yeah, as people in Texas do. I don't think either one of these teams is as good as they were last year, but I think Texas is closer, and I think we saw some good things from Texas this past week that give me a lot more confidence of where they are at this point in the season than
Just
the Wolverines.
Of handling the opponent that was put in front of them, the tune-up game that was put in front of them. Yeah, same. I remember I just kept looking at the score like, are you serious? That's Fresno State, right? That's not Florida. No, Florida State already lost. No, that's Fresno State hanging around. They did, but Michigan got the win. But I think that showed a lot more than that win was much more of a loss than an actual win. And I think we'll come to see that throughout the season. Next up, we got 14 Tennessee taking on number 23, the Kevin Concepcion led NC State Wolfpack. 6:30 ESPN and ESPN Plus. I'm going NC State. I mean, come on. What did you think? I'm going to pick against my boy after he came out with a triple digit yardage on the first game? Nuh-uh, not going to do it. You had a misconception there.
I was going to ask if you had even paid any attention to him or them at all outside of his name at this point, but look at you dropping stats there from the first
I don't know what the yardage number was. I do know it was over 100 yards though, and it was fairly over 100 yards. So
I'll go the other way and take Tennessee, who, this is actually a matchup of 2 teams that we ended up drafting on opposite sides of our respective college football play. And so this could be a big one in determining who wins that season long thing. I really do like the Vols, and the first look at them and Nico running that offense I thought was really encouraging. That's going to be a really fun matchup, I think, this weekend, but I'm going to go ahead with the Vols.
Great. Next, we've got Boise taking on number 7, Oregon. That's going to be 9 p.m. streaming on Peacock. Weird that we have to do the streaming stuff now, but whatever. Oregon, another power team that struggled heavily in their opener versus a tune-up team. It's not what you like to see. I don't know much, but I know
That's 100% where my head went to. I just lived with lyrics flying in and out.
I know I love you. I do love. I think Oregon comes out. I think it could be a stingy game because, again, maybe this Oregon team isn't as good as we thought, but I do think Oregon comes out with a W.
I don't know, man. I'm going to go the other way. Just to make it interesting for us, if nothing else. This is another one. I'm not sold either way. The fact that Oregon was sitting with a 3-point lead against the Idaho Vandals fairly late in that game last weekend really concerns me for a team that I looked at as one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. It's likely that Oregon shakes back from that rough start to the season, but this is a Boise State team that I think just like we talk about the opportunities for Tulane as a potential G5 candidate to sneak into the playoffs, I think Boise is in that conversation too. And they've had some good matchups with Oregon through the years. And I mean, two teams that close geographically, a lot of familiarity between the kids ultimately ends up meaning that there's a little bit less fear at times too with that familiarity. And I'm screw it and go with the Bronx to pull this thing out.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Next up, we got the UL Raging Cajuns versus Kennesaw State. Saturday, 6 p.m. You can find on ESPN Plus if you're trying to watch it outside of the stadium. I'm going to go the Raging Cajuns here.
Same. I liked what I saw from them, particularly offensively in their opener against Grambling State. We may have touched on it a little bit in the previous episode, just kind of recapping the weekend, but there was a level of confidence and aggression in the way that they called some plays and took some shots downfield that I like. They're the favorite in this game. Coach Dez this week talked about pretty bluntly, if any of his guys are overlooking this team, let alone any team, then they've got huge problems in the building. And he said it in a way that made it sound pretty clear that that's not a problem that they have going on the building. I didn't hear the way the question was phrased to him because I wasn't out there that day, but it sounds like where they are from a mentality standpoint is kind of right where they need to be early in the season to have a nice shake back year and build upon that season opening performance and go ahead and get a big conference win here to go to 2-0 on the year.
I like you said, it really stuck with me when you said that they were taking those shots early, and it gave the players like a sense of like, okay, yeah, we're here to try to do this thing, and I love that. I want the Cajuns to keep going with that and see how far they can take it. So, next step, Kennesaw State, take care of business. Don't give me another L. I've had too many. All right, our last game that we're going to pick is the first week of NFL. Super excited. Saints are going to play the Panthers. That game is at noon. It's going to be on Fox, or if you're out of the state, your local DirecTV channels, if you have that. You can find that there. Here's what I'm going to say. I think the Panthers are going to win. The vibes around the Saints are atrocious, and the vibes around the Panthers are just slightly less atrocious. So I'm going to go with Bryce Young, Xavier Leggett, and Deontay Johnson are going to get the job done, unfortunately, versus the Saints team that the more closer we get to the season, the more I think we're going to have that they're going to have a lot of issues. So
I worry about this matchup more than I am comfortable with for the Saints. We know how tough it is to go win an NFL game any given week, but this is one that when we talked about the game by game schedule breakdown, you've got to come out and start on the right foot against this team in the Panthers for a variety of reasons. I mean, a laundry list of reasons. I'm going to pick the Saints. I said earlier, ever the optimist when picking the Tulane win on Saturday. I'll pick the Saints to win. And it just feels crucial that they do. They've got to start this season on the right foot, or all of those things that you reference as being worried about from a vibe standpoint. We see how much winning helps cure a lot and how much losing amplifies a lot. And so don't come out the gates with a loss to the Carolina Panthers, who should be the worst team in the division still. Should be,
but it might be the Saints. So we'll see. We'll see there. We'll see how it goes. I really hope that cornerback trio can really just shut down any kind of shots that Bryce Young's going to take. Also, if you're looking for someone in maybe a daily fantasy lineup, I think Rashid Shaheed is a very good play. I think he could catch a long bomb. I mean, DSF, you're looking for something like that. So if you trust me at all, which I know you shouldn't because look at my record so far, but well, let's add another thing. Let's add another thing on there. See if I can dig myself out of this hole. So
that's a gambler's mentality right there.
I love it. Hey, that's what we're doing.
You'll hit the next one for sure.
And if not, I'll keep going because I've got no skin in this game. I'm not losing anything. Actually, no, I'll bet anytime score, and I'll let you go. I'll throw $5 on anytime score this weekend for Rashid Shaheed. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm not doing more than that. We'll put it on the Instagram, which now has content, guys. Let's go. So
look at you setting up the transition. Beautiful.
I know. So that's all I have for us today. Do you have anything else you wanna get out there, Jarrett?
Well, we've got a
Oh,
winner
we do have one more thing.
for the
Yeah.
for the play of the week.
I'll let you take this. Go ahead.
Christian Brooks, the 2026 wide receiver from Zachary, with the touchdown reception in the back corner of the end
Just
zone.
mossing him. Just taking what his mama gave him. It was great.
The nice pass from his quarterback, Caleb Gonzalez, and also Caleb making sure to pass on that clip to me and nominate his teammate for a play of the week. And Christian has all kinds of support on the social media.
Yeah, we love it, man. I love it. And all the plays were I loved. I've rewatched them all. But Christian, you absolutely deserved it. It was an amazing catch. It was an amazing throw. Best of luck for the rest of the season. That is all we have for you today. Remember that you can follow Louisiana versus All Y'all page for all your recruiting. Louisiana recruiting needs, high school, college, everywhere in between. Also watch PODnas episodes. We have them all up there. Follow us on Instagram, PODnas_LA. Please reach out to us, connect with us. We want to talk to you. We want to see what you're feeling, what we got right, what we got wrong. Like, share, get it out to all the people that you know. And until the next time we see you, PODnas out.
And it's a ticket talking margin for the biggest. That's a comma and a